Okay, so and I hope this mic even picks up. Um, so this review was mentioned, or this movie was mentioned by a subscriber of mine, Cynthia. Sorry, I forget her last name. Cynthia, anyway. She had seen one of my reviews on, I think, Witch in the Woods or something, and she pointed out how this film is sort of like she said. I think she said I might like this one, or I should check this one out, which I did. I think I saw this back when it came out, sometime. I believe, because I kept remembering some scenes in this, because this came out in 2007, and I was like, have I seen this before? And yeah, I did see it before. I think I saw bits and pieces of it, parts of it, because it's basically this guy and girl who, funny enough, they're actually credited as guy and girl. And I guess they don't have names. I don't even think they say their names in this movie, which is funny. I mean, considering what, you know, why this all even, how these two get together in the first place. It's basically two college students, girl and guy. It's the holidays, and I guess uh, she hires him for a ride to, Delaware for, you know, Christmas Eve or whatever. And so they're traveling on the road, and it's winter time, so roads are pretty bad. And pretty much at first, like, it's weird the way they want to. This is supposed to be like supernatural, which it is, because it's a drama, thriller, horror. And I don't know about. I wouldn't really say drama because you don't really know. I mean, you know a little bit about the characters, like you know that he lied basically to this girl, because basically it's this guy who gives her a ride during the holidays, and they get trapped on the side of the road because they get ran off the road by this other car who then just disappears. And even he notices it. Where's the tire tracks? So then it's them trying to survive in the cold in this car. It's pretty much one location, basically, movie. So it's a pretty indie, low budget film. Um, Granted, they were ambitious a bit with it because with the effects, not really much. Not really any gore, really. And did I really care about anybody? Well, at like these characters, at least the girl, this stars Emily Blunt, by the way, um, and Ashton Holmes, I believe, as Guy. Um, I mean, basically, it's sort of like Groundhog's Day, where because they get ran off the road, in this one particular road site is basically a supernatural road, because like basically a crime back in the early 50s happened there, where this shady cop, racist shady cop, who would pull over people or murder people, or at one point and I'm calling him racist because he says they actually have him say the N-word really quick, but he says it, and so yeah, that's automatic, Ooh. And but it was weird, like the way this movie deals with like with the supernatural stuff, because like these ghosts, because you see like crosses in the ground, so you know there's graves, and then the guy uh, goes to, because she, at this point, she finds out, oh, he lied about, being from Delaware, and you know knowing stuff around there or whatever. And basically, he pretty much tells her how he's basically stalked her because he knows her favorite foods, he knows her favorite snacks, or her favorite drink. Like this guy. And plus, even at the beginning, like they show basically him reading her text message. Like, he's in the same class as her, and it shows him leaning to look at her text to see, oh, she needs a ride to Delaware for home holidays. And so I guess he must have made like a poster or something for anybody that needs a ride to Delaware or whatever. I guess I don't know what he wrote on that, because he like hangs it up at the school, and I guess she reads that and calls him or whatever. Um, and so yeah, it's them trying to survive, and also dealing with somewhat supernatural happenings. The acting in this is pretty good. Emily Blunt, I'm not familiar with. I've seen her in decent amount of movies. I never really paid attention much to her. I've heard of her. I've seen her like in movies and stuff. Here, and I just recently reviewed A Quiet Place. I won't be out for like probably a few days. I do have other videos scheduled anyway, so a lot of these are already recorded and just scheduled ahead of time. But yeah, I haven't really been recording on camera, as anybody's noticed. But I decided, why not do this one? But yeah, this one, I mean, it's edited fine. The story, somewhat decent. Again, the characters, it's, again, guy and girl. Don't, like, we know it, her parents divorced when she was 5 or 6, I believe, or something. Like, she had a boyfriend, but then it was her fault that they broke up. I forget why, personally, what she even said, really. I forget what his whole thing was. Like, he went to a Catholic school, I think, or something, and also it deals with ghost priests in this as well, but they don't really, like, factor into any, like, they don't attack these guy and girl, they don't, if anything, like, all they do is either stand in the background and just look creepy. There's like one guy, it reminded me of Silent Hill at one point, because like when you first see like the creatures in Silent Hill where they're walking very, weird, creepily. This one ghost is doing that, but then he turns around and like his face, it looked like it was a black guy, but his face looked weird, because like it looked like he was made out of mud or something. I guess because we find out like he was killed and like drowned or something in the swamp or whatever, in the water. And then like a snake falls out of his mouth, and then she passes out, and then the guy comes back, and then they're scared, and then they see the cop that they think at first is the normal cop, because like he does like a routine thing where he has his flashlight and like, and then they're like, didn't you just hear what she just said? We've been trapped here for a while, and like it was weird, like the way he would answer them is not exactly what would, go with what they were saying. It's like he was on a different speaking level than what they were saying or something. I don't know how to explain it. But basically, he's a ghost. He's the evil cop. And then, basically, like, by the end, she survived. At first, I thought they're going to do a whole, they've been dead the whole time. Because, like, at the beginning, when they stop at a gas station, there's a weird thing where she gets trapped in the bathroom, which reminded me of that movie, the Witch in the Woods movie or whatever, which there was no witch in the whatever. I did a rant on that movie. I'll probably link that with this video. But yeah, like, basically, that scene where she gets stuck in the bathroom, and she's hearing, like, voices in the vent or whatever, and then people are like, oh, I didn't hear you screaming. Then she has an attitude, and, like, at first, like, she comes off as really rude and kind of douchey. People probably find this guy, Ashton Holmes' character, just creepy, I guess. Because, like, basically, he stalked this girl. Granted, it was innocent, but, like he wasn't out to kidnap her or anything, but I can sort of see where he's coming from, but at the same time, it's like, that's on a, but, yeah. But by the end, she survives. Of course, he dies because I guess frostbite. Well, basically, he died from frozen. Um, the rules with these ghosts again, like the cop, the evil cop guy. Like it was weird. Like he kills at one point this other tow truck guy that comes along by the end. And then he dies, which was weird because this evil cop guy didn't bother to try to kill her. Same thing, he tried to put her in his cop car. But then every time the college guy, he would hit the guy, and then it would rewind them back into whatever few minutes or seconds back into the car. But then he's dead, so that was weird. Because like he comes to help her at one point at the end, but he's dead. But then I guess his ghost saved her from the evil cop man ghost, and then that rewinded her back with the dead guy in the car. But then he's outside, and then he walks her, to the gas station, which was like a few miles, not even miles, like a few, pretty good distance, but still like whatever. And the reason he didn't go, because um, I guess he was peeing blood or something, so that's why he came back. And that's why I didn't want to tell you. So I don't know, like this movie is a mixed bag. It's like it's it's an okay watch. Like it's not really scary much. Like it's not really anything to run home about. Like there's really not a lot of special effects in this. It's not really scary. It's not creepy really, except for maybe the priest. But really, but then like you learn about their backstory where they froze to death, I guess, and that's it. And then their ghosts are like just haunting the road or whatever, or like they're reliving whatever. So I don't know. This movie overall, it was fine. I wouldn't watch it again. But yeah, overall it's a okay one.